Okay, we're going to go over a little bit of brief instructions on installing a set of performance side-by-side bushings tie rods. Obviously the first thing you're going to do is remove your old tie rods, and you'll need to get your boot off your old tie rods and put it on our ball socket like that right there. There it is inside there. That will be how your tie rods come, and obviously the nut will go on after the boot goes on. Once you get that done, you come over here to the rack, and you'll need to clean that with some brake cleaner to clean the threads really good. I like to use some red Loctite on installing the inner ball socket. I also use a pipe wrench. It seems like it's easier just to get in there because everything's real tight in here, and you can't always find the flat you want on the hex of the bolt to tighten it up. So clean it, put some Loctite on it, tighten it up really good. Okay. The next thing we'll do is our outer pins for the knuckles. It's got a taper on it. You'll have a washer and a jam nut, or lock nut I mean, and then you'll have a misalignment spacer and a Allen head socket head on the top. But what we do is we come over here, just put it in there, and you can tap it on the top with a brass hammer to seat it just a little bit. Then you will take your washer and your lock nut, put it on, tighten it up really good, and it shouldn't move. Next, you'll take your tie rod, and you'll have your inner ball socket in, and you'll screw it into it, and also your heim joint, and then you can slide it over. Don't put your misalignment spacer or your socket head in yet, because you might have to slide it back off and take the tie rod back off to do some more adjustment, because you do not want a set of tie rods that's adjusted like that with, say, that much thread on this end and that much on this end. You want to try to have equal amounts of thread sticking out, so you ensure that you have plenty of thread up in here to keep from, pulling it out. Next, you'll come to the front end here. Once you get your tie rod in and you're ready to start adjusting, you'll notice we have this sitting on jack stands. What I'm doing here is, I guess, preloading the suspension to the ride height that the machine rides at, because I find that when the suspension is at full droop or fully compressed, you do have some bump steer where the wheels turn in or out depending on which one it is. So when I adjust the tie rods, I like to adjust them where it sits at where it rides. The way I like to adjust it is just take a tape measure, stick it on the front side of the rotor, take you a measurement, write it down. Go to the back side, 180 degrees. It's helpful to have a helper doing this, but I'm just showing you for example. And then you'll pull a measurement back here and you compare the two. And well, I usually set mine at pretty much just 0 toe, so you'll have the same measurement on the front as you do on the back side, and that will pretty much set you up at 0 toe. After you get everything adjusted, get your steering wheel centered where you want it at, and everything, go back and make sure you get all your jam nuts good and tight that's on the tie rods. Also, don't forget your misalignment spacer and your socket head on the top of the heim joint. And it's really just a bit of trial and error to get it right. You may have it aligned perfectly, but your steering wheel may be crooked, so it's just, after you do it a few times, you get the hang of it pretty good, but it's not too bad of a job.